Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Michael again, and today I want to get into a little discussion about grow flats. I want to show you the grow flats we used to use and the grow flats we use now. And I want to say straight up, not all grow flats are created equal. So let's have a look. Unfortunately, with these cheaper 1020 trays, we get a lot of trays that get damaged on the corner. And you can see sometimes after just one use, I pour water in the bottom of a tray and all of a sudden I notice dripping all over my crops. And that gets pretty annoying. So we pay a little bit extra and we get these really good quality heavy duty trays. No leaking on those. Saves a lot of time. So here's a look at that TO plastic, just a very basic shallow tray that you can get from any garden center or online. When we first started out, we bought a bunch of these. Price was kind of the name of the game when we first started out. We couldn't afford nicer ones. Looking back, I would have paid a little bit more money to get a nicer tray sooner. We battled dampening off issues for too long and dried out corners. So here's the 1020 tray, and the problem is that these are so flexible that these little slats here in the middle, they rest directly on the tray below, while the corners are up. I don't know if you can see that. Sorry for my dirty farmer hands. They just sit so high up, so the corners aren't able to soak up moisture while the middle sucks up all the moisture. So not only do you have dried out corners, you get extra wet centers that you risk the dampening off and the mold and all that kind of stuff. So here's a typical flat. I mean, we've seen this time and time again, and we've been battling it over the last year until we decided to upgrade our flats. So you can see that this flat sits up very high. The corners aren't able to soak up the moisture. And this is bone dry right here. But the middle is flourishing, and it's really wet in the middle. So I can either add more water to be able to get the corners soaked and risk mold issues in the center, or take extra time and take a freaking spray bottle and waste your time doing this. And that's just not very efficient if you're growing for market. These are our new grow flats, our new 1020 flats from a company called Bootstrap Farmer. They're injection molded. They're a very consistent, durable 1020 tray that fits easily on just in a typical 4-foot shop rack like you see here. We like these because they're very rigid and they sit within each other very evenly. Like I showed you on the last flat how they dip. And I'm not going to say these don't dip. They do, just nowhere near as much as the other ones. So you can see just right off the bat, even space, even space. And like I said, these still dip a little bit, you can see in the middle, but not nearly as much. The growing consistency that we've been able to accomplish with these flats has been phenomenal. You can see here just how well those corners line up. And each pair is like this. There's very minimal inconsistencies. We've been able to improve our yields. I don't have to worry about corners drying out too bad. And let's just check the rigidity between these ones and the cheapo 1020 flats here. So, I mean, you can see there's a little bit of give, but compared to this, it's ridiculous. Now here's a flat that we've grown in the Bootstrap Farmer flat here. And you can see the consistency is so much better. And I don't want to, mislead you and tell you that it's perfect, because it's not perfect. but just, I mean, the corners are so much more full and robust. You can kind of see it's a little thin here. We had some drying a little bit. I actually think that was more our rack being a little unlevel than the tray, but night and day difference between the other tray. Now, we're not sponsored by Bootstrap Farmer. We're not affiliated with them. We don't get a monetary kickback. I just wanted to share that with you guys because we battled the cheapo 1020 flat for too long, and we're super stoked on these new Bootstrap Farmer. Let's get their little logo in here. Oh, maybe not. There you go. They even have their own logo. Pretty neat. Thanks.